Oil is the foundation of and is present throughout the edifice of human civilization. There are 10 calories of hydrocarbon energy, oil and natural gas, in every calorie of food you and I eat in the industrialized world. Fertilizers are made from natural gas. Pesticides are made from oil. You drive oil-powered machines to plant, plow, irrigate, harvest, transport, package. You wrap the food in plastic, that's oil. All plastic is oil. There are 7 gallons of oil in every tire. Oil is everywhere, it's ubiquitous. And it's only because of oil that there are 7 billion people, or almost 7 billion people, on this planet right now. The arrival of this cheap and easy energy, which is equivalent, by the way, to billions of slaves working around the clock, changed the world in such a radical way over the last century, and the population has gone up 10 times. But by 2050, oil supply is able to support less than half the present world's population in their present way of life. So the scale of adjustment to live differently is enormous. The world is now using 6 barrels of oil for every barrel it finds. 5 years ago it was using 4 barrels of oil for every barrel it finds. A year from now it's going to be using 8 barrels of oil for every barrel it finds. What's disturbing to me is the lack of any real effort from governments worldwide and industry leaders worldwide to do something different. We have these sort of attempts to build more wind power and to maybe do something with tide. We've got attempts to make our cars a little bit more efficient, but there's nothing which really looks like a revolution coming along. These are all pretty minor, and I think that is pretty frightening. And the governments, who are driven by these economists who don't really appreciate what we're talking about, are trying to stimulate consumerism to restore past prosperity in the hope that they can restore the past. They're printing yet more money lacking any collateral at all. So if the economy improves and recovers and the famous growth comes back, it will only be short-lived, because within a short period of time, counted in months rather than years, it will hit the supply barrier again. There will be another price shock and a deeper recession. So I think we are going into a series of vicious circles. So you have the economic growth going up, price spike, everything shuts down, that's where we are now. Then it starts to come up again. But what we have now is this area where there is no more ability to produce cheap energy. We're at the peak, we're on the down slope of oil production. No way you're going to get any more out of the ground any faster, which means that things shut down. The price of oil drops, which it did in early 2009, but then, as you have a recovery, the price of oil starts to come back. It's recently been hovering at around $80 a barrel. And what we see is that even at $80 a barrel now, with the financial and economic collapse, people are having a hard time affording that. World oil production right now is about 86 million barrels a day. Over 10 years, you're looking at roughly 14 million barrels a day having to be replaced. There's nothing around which can come even within 1% of meeting that sort of demand. If we don't do something pretty quickly, there's going to be a huge energy deficiency. I think the big mistake is in not recognizing a decade or so ago that a concerted effort needed to be made to develop these sustainable forms of energy. I think that's something our grandchildren will look back on with total disbelief. You people knew you were dealing with a finite commodity. How could you possibly have built your economy around something which was going to disappear? For the first time in human history, the species is now faced with the depletion of a core resource central to our current system of survival. And the punchline of the whole thing is that even with oil becoming more and more scarce, the economic system will still blindly push its cancerous growth model so people can go out and buy more oil-powered cars to generate GDP and jobs, exasperating the decline. Are there solutions to replace the edifice of the hydrocarbon economy? Of course. But the path needed to accomplish these changes will not manifest through the market system protocols required, since new solutions can only be implemented through the profit mechanism.
So this stuff really works?
Certainly does.
Oh, well, lots of luck! Oh!
Coal is good for humanity.
It must be fun being Fox News and actually producing nonsense programming, right? Imagine sitting around and saying, how about this? We'll just say that solar power won't work here because it's just not sunny enough, like it is in Germany. What the hell? They'll eat it right up.
The consensus of the scientific community, not people making things up on the floor of the House, is that this has been profoundly influenced by human activity.